Monkeyboy's YouTube channel is the best YouTube channel, intersubjectively, stands independently, conceptually, metaphysically, epistemically, and rhetorically. Subscribe to the channel and Patreon.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's good, boss? I don't talk to you before. Chris. I just changed my name.
All right.
Okay, so I would say that the universe is intelligible is evidence for God.
Mm-hmm. How is that evidence for God?
Okay, so we possess faculties, right? Like reason, perception, abstractions, right? And we can discern patterns and laws.
Abstraction's not a faculty, but yeah.
Like we can recognize beauty and stuff like that, though, right?
Okay.
So I'm saying that's one of the faculties we possess. But okay, why is the universe structured in a way that we could recognize these things?
That seems like a question.
Okay, well, not a question. The universe is structured in a way that we recognize these patterns, and it behaves consistently across time, right?
Well, what I'm asking you is, okay, we have the fact the universe is intelligible. How do we get to God existing?
Like you're asking me to jump the gap, and then you'll say that's the God of the gaps, right? So it takes steps to get to that.
I'm asking you to close the gap. There's clearly nothing tethering the universe being intelligible and a God existing. So I'm asking, what are the additional steps that kind of infers the existence of God?
Okay. So if the universe does exhibit consistent behaviors like gravity, thermodynamics, quantum possibilities, then that intelligibility must be repeatable, modeled, predictable, and able to be interpreted. So I would say a mind, and we know that these things come from mind, like logic comes from a mind, but we know that humans are inherently flawed, capable of error. So it implies that a higher mind that might not be capable of these things gave it to us.
How does that imply a higher mind? By the way, thanks for the heart minute.
Because I would say logic is universal. Like even amoebas exhibit.
What does that even mean?
When I say logic is universal, like everything that lives exhibits a form of logic, like of non-contradiction. It is what it is, and well, I don't agree with excluded middle. I don't think that's. But everything is what it is.
I agree with any of the laws of classical logic, but not in the relevant, robust sense. But I'm not really understanding. So things are intelligible. So how do they require a higher mind?
Because it requires grounding for it to be like, or else, like
what we learn from grounding mean?
Like what does grounding mean? Like it makes it repeatable. Like if it's not grounded, it's not repeatable. If it doesn't have a ground,
intelligibility repeatable.
Like repeatable, predictable, able to
understand. Look, the world is just intelligible. How do we get from that fact to God?
Because you can't if you build a bridge from the middle of the ocean without any grounding, it wouldn't work, right?
I don't get it. Like I understand the world's intelligible. I'm not seeing how we're concluding in God existing.
It's more what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's absolute. I'm not talking in absolutes. I never talk in absolutes. I'm saying it's more logical for me to believe that. I'm not saying you have to believe that, but I'm saying like if you say that my
understanding how it's logical.
How is it not logical then? Because you're saying that my reasoning is.
I'm not understanding.
I'm not seeing the reasoning. You don't see my reasoning. That's fine. But you're
asking you what is it?
My reasoning that it requires something to ground it. For it to be universal and grounded. For it to be repeatable, it has to have a ground.
So you're saying that intelligibility requires a grounding. Grounding requires a higher mind, right? That's what you're saying?
No. I'm saying grounding is I'm saying the higher mind is the ground of it.
Yeah, you're saying that it requires grounding, and the grounding is a higher mind.
The grounding is the higher mind.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yes. So one is I'm still not okay. So let's kind of. This concept about grounding is opaque, so we kind of want to flesh that out. So what does grounding mean? I'm not really understanding that.
It's just
Do you have a definition of grounding, or?
I just mean like the grounding sustains it. Like it's the support or the scaffolding to hold up logic or reasoning. The scaffolding that we use the support. That's what I would say grounding is, the support. The base support. The foundation of it.
Yeah, I don't understand what that means.
Grounding is the
The
foundation.
base,
I would say it's the
support, the
foundation.
foundation for logic? I don't know what any of that means. Can you maybe define any of those terms? Because it seems like you're just giving synonyms, which are more terms I'm unfamiliar with.
Okay, so
They're just
what
like
is support?
foreign. If
Okay,
maybe you have an
support.
analysis of any of these concepts, that would be
Okay, the
informative.
support. Okay, so we say support, right? When I build a house, right? I can give you a thing. So when I build a house, I need a foundation. The foundation has to be level, secure, and basically unmovable for it to have anything that I build on top of it to be understandable, solid, and worth that can
But
hold anything.
by a foundation there, you just mean like a layer that stabilizes the foundation, the type of structure.
Stabilization. Okay, that's exactly what I mean. Stabilization.
Yeah, but I just don't. That just sounds like you're saying something allegorical then, and I'm not. Then it's just unclear what it is. If maybe you can put it in literal words, can I understand the concept?
I'm saying God stabilizes logic.
I don't know what that means.
Like,
What
cause
does it mean to stabilize logic?
you don't agree with the classical laws of logic, but like I do, so I can't like.
Yeah, but we
things-
don't really even have to dispute that for the moment because I'm not even understanding what stabilized logic means. What does that even mean?
It makes contradictions impossible.
What is that? What does it mean to make contradictions impossible? Like something that somehow facilitates a world without contradiction?
Correct. Something can be true and false at the same time, right?
Yeah, but why would I think there is a thing like that?
Because the truth isn't universal. It isn't static or eternal. Truth is dynamic. It changes from perspectives. But there has to be an ultimate perspective on truth to ground it.
I'm asking why would I think that there has to be something facilitating contradictions or facilitating a world where there isn't contradictions? Why would I think there's a thing like that?
I would say you don't. Like, you can believe that contradictions exist, but I don't.
No, but I'm saying that why should I on the basis of reason, which you're saying you have reasons down. So I'm asking you if you can communicate the reasons that inform me why I should think that. Like, what are the reasons to think that there is something facilitating the world without contradiction? I could just think of a world where there isn't contradictions and there's no thing facilitating the fact there's not contradiction. It's just a world where contradictions don't instantiate. I don't see why I would have to think, one, that there has to be a thing facilitating the world as to not have contradictions, and two, the thing facilitating has agency. Right? Those are the two hurdles, and we're at the first jump.
I would say, like, from here, I would jump back into the contingency argument because I would say the laws of physics and, like, pretty much everything, the universe and everything within it is contingent on something else. So it has to have something necessary.
And by contingent, do you mean ontologically dependent? Or
Yes,
do you
depending
mean...
on priors.
Okay, well, I don't actually see reason to think anything is ontologically dependent. So I don't see why I think anything is contingent.
Because, like, we can produce models that shows that things could be otherwise, right?
Okay.
So that's like the definition of contingent. Like, contingent,
No, but that's the
it could
difference.
be otherwise.
But that's
not necessary means it cannot be otherwise.
But no, I asked you if by contingent you meant ontologically dependent, right? That's how Alfonsina uses contingent in the contingency argument. And it seems like you're talking about what was it, Plantinga? I think I might be wrong. You're talking about contingent. You just mean it in the modal sense that things are not necessary. Okay. Oh yeah, Leibniz is correct. Yeah. So I would agree things are not necessary, or at least I guess that would depend on the modality. Like obviously, no facts about the external world are logically necessary. Are you talking about metaphysically necessary? Because it doesn't seem like it would make any sense to say talking about logical modality, because God's not logically necessary.
Well, I would say intelligibility is contingent. So when I say intelligibility is contingent,
but by contingent you mean non-necessary, and I'm asking you by non-necessary, are you talking about metaphysical modality or what?
I'm saying the universe has no reason to make sense to us. it doesn't owe us any reason why our model should be applied and they should work.
Yeah, that's not helping me understand. So look, where I'm at is I'm trying to understand the modality in reference to necessity talk. Are you talking about metaphysical modality? Because that's typically what proponents of the contingency argument are talking about. So I'm assuming you're talking about metaphysical modality, right? Like Alvin-Sina and Leibniz are talking about metaphysical modality.
But I think I would say the physical is emergent from metaphysical. Like, you can't have structures without observation, right?
I'm just asking you if the modality in reference to the necessity talk and the contingency talk, if it's metaphysical modality.
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't understand metaphysical modality. I think like metaphysical modality is like nonsense. But if maybe you have an analysis of metaphysical modality, that would be germane at the moment, kind of getting clear what that device even is. Like, what constitutes metaphysical possibility by your lights?
It's kind of hard to explain. What is it? Because I think once we get past the physical, all that's left is metaphysical questions or metaphysics, where we to like knowledge, and different justifications are gonna apply. Like metaphysics, like it's pretty much where we argue in ontology and things like that. But
you understand how modality is relevant to the contingency argument if you're using contingent in a modal sense, right? Seems like you specify the modality as metaphysical modality, and what I'm saying is that I think metaphysical modality goes underdefined, or from its accounts seems opaque. So I'm not entirely clear what that concept is. So what your task is basically to kind of make the concept transparent to me, to show how that device is levied in the argument in forwarding theism. So right now we're just trying to understand what metaphysical possibility, for example, means.
like, because I don't think truth is static. So it's like hard for me to jump into modality, like, because like that treats truth.
No, this doesn't
like
have to do with truth being static or not. No, the modal talk doesn't talk about whether truth is static or not.
It kind of does though, because it says like 2 + 2 = 4 must be the case always, right?
No, it's just giving me your semantics for necessity. It's basically just asking you how you define necessity in context of the contingency argument. Like, surely you're familiar with like epistemic, nomological, and logical modality, right? It seems you're using metaphysical modality. I'm just asking how you construe that modality so I can appreciate how it's offering you motivations to think God exists.
How it like why does it increase the probability for me?
No, I'm just asking you what metaphysical modality means. You know, I'm not asking you anything else. I'm just asking you what like constitutes metaphysical modality. I think the best way would be first like unveiling what it means for something to be metaphysically possible.
Okay.
If anything, you can always come back another time if maybe you have it more fleshed out, right? Seems like maybe you're thinking about it pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, my bad. I'm trying to put it in the right words because I don't want to lead into a straw man that I'm not trying to argue for. You get what I'm saying? Like, and then I have to argue and unpack a straw man.
Yeah, I get that.
But
yeah, you kind of just need to organize your thoughts. I feel that.
Okay, thank you, man, for having me up, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's no problem. All right. Peace. I'm actually gonna end this live though.